As children, we learn how to take responsibility for our thoughts and actions. If we love someone, we show them how much we care, and if we are mean to someone, we apologize. So how is it that when it comes to nature, we don't consider it our own and care for it? Nature gives us everything, but we are not taught how to give back to it. What really helps children develop these connections is guidance that then translates into action. This right here is where our current education system is failing.
Millions of children go to school in India every day. They get very little exposure to nature. They get very little understanding of how our lives are related to nature and the sheer impact of climate crisis in all our lives. At such a time, we need education for climate action now more than ever. We are beginning to fill this gap. "65% of India's entire population is below 35 years of age. They are students and youth, and most of them are unaware of the climate crisis. And for over a decade, whenever a school invites us to teach students about nature, what we have found is that teaching about nature and the climate crisis within the four walls is highly ineffective. And after teaching students, we wait and we interact with the teachers and the principals, and they often express that they need a lot more training to make their classes experiential and action-oriented. However, we also find that there's some amazing systems that are there in schools. For example, the National Green Corps. It's an eco-club program of the central government of India. And the National Green Corps scheme provides 5,000 rupees per school annually. If you look at that, that scheme is present in about 120,000 schools across India. It's a great number, but India has got 1.5 million schools. So in such a scenario, if we need nationwide climate action, if we need nationwide increase in climate literacy, how do we make that happen by bringing together citizens of diverse backgrounds who can transform such schemes and systems?
Change from the ground up, that is the answer. For this, we need to find and equip young people with authenticity and a spirit of enterprise. When Ram and I sat with this challenge, we asked ourselves, how do we enable such an educator in every school in India?
When I met the other 19 fellows for the first time, I was very nervous because I knew I was inexperienced and I didn't have a solid idea in place. I just knew that I wanted to teach.
Like, I would know what the matter is, and then I might know how to conduct a few sessions, but I wouldn't know how to bring continuity and how to make it fun.
But the environment that Ram and Rachita created at the first retreat, it was so non-competitive, it was very open, it was just sort of explore yourself, explore your style, and slowly build your passion project idea. The beauty of the fellowship was the complete and utter freedom we had to explore ourselves as teachers.
मेरी क्लास में जाना पड़ेगा चितकुल में, जहाँ मैंने पहली बार क्लास की या कहीं और भी क्लास की, तो मैंने बच्चों को कहा कि हम ना ड्राइंग से स्टार्ट करते, क्यों मुझे ना साइकोलॉजी समझनी थी बच्चों की। तो जब मैंने बच्चों को ड्रॉ करने दिया तो बच्चों ने पता क्या ड्रॉ किया, एक ट्रेन। बच्चों ने ड्रॉ किया एक फैक्ट्री जिससे धुआं निकल रहा है और काला पानी निकल रहा है जो नदी में जा रहा है। किन्नौर के अंदर कोई भी ऐसी फैक्ट्री नहीं है जिससे काला धुआं निकल रहा है, और ऐसा कोई भी फैक्ट्री नहीं जिससे काला पानी निकल रहा है। जब मैंने बच्चों को ड्रॉ करने को बोला, उन्होंने ये क्यों ड्रॉ किया, क्योंकि ये उनकी इन्वायरमेंटल साइंस की किताब में था। और इससे समझ आता है कि हमारा जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम है ना, आपको क्या पढ़ाया जा रहा है, दिमाग में इन्फॉर्मेशन देना है, उस इन्फॉर्मेशन का करना क्या है।
As part of my full-time job, I do spend a lot of time with decision makers, create material for them so that they understand our cities, our spaces better. And sometimes these decisions are not in the best interest of the nature, wildlife around us. And that got me thinking, if I could make better decision makers out of children by working with them closely, by educating them, by engaging with them, I said, why not?
They also seem to get things from a different perspective because they're not as biased and they don't have as much of a rigid way of thinking as adults do. So that's when I realized that I would like to pursue this and try to be an educator and see if I can make a difference that way.
A lot of people think we're just teaching children, but a lot of our fellowship involves us actually getting out to the community members and to the elders of the village. And schools are a great way to do that because adults are very invested in improving the lives of their children. And they're very much aware that climate change is happening, but they don't know how to sort of change things.
Somebody is a good writer perhaps, somebody is a good teacher, somebody is a good curriculum developer, somebody may be better in technical knowledge of, let's say, species and trees and all. So we had mentors from different aspects of learning that, you know, that helped us also in understanding what we were more gravitated towards.
For various reasons, I'm a lot more confident as an educator than I was as a researcher. Now I feel my understanding about nature and natural history is a lot more now that I've had to take it to other people.
ಸೊ ಈಗ ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಕು ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟೇಟಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾನು ಸೀಮಿತ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ YouCAN ಫೆಲೋಶಿಪ್ಪಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಯಾಕುಮಾರಿಯಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರದ ತನಕವರೆಗೂ ಫೆಲೋಸ್ಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರದು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅವರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋವಂಥ ಒಂದು ವಿಧಾನನೇ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಮತ್ತು ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಬೆರೆತದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳೇನಿತ್ತು ಅದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಆಗಾಯಿತು.
प्रोजेक्ट से सीखा जा सकता है, यात्राओं से सीखा जा सकता है, किसी से मिल के सीखा जा सकता है, किसी के अंडर इंटर्नशिप करके सीखा जा सकता है. सो व्हेन आई गॉट दिस YouCAN फेलोशिप, दैट अम्ब्रेला आई गॉट बेसिकली, वो एनवायरनमेंट एजुकेशन का एक अम्ब्रेला मुझे मिला.
Developing an education program and running it in schools is a highly challenging task. So when a young fellow, when a young person develops such a program and implements it in schools for different age groups, they develop leadership skills.
As a fellow, you get a good understanding of the natural world. You get to know your audience, not only children, but the entire school ecosystem. And most importantly, you learn how to use education for climate action. The experiential sessions by the fellows develops deep empathy for nature in children, makes them understand the climate crisis, and helps them discover their own voices for climate action.
You know, in all practical purpose, we're building a community. So when a large section of people, including students and youth, when they take action, we're going to have better soil, more forests, nutritious food, and garbage-free spaces. If you ask us, that's the ripple effect that we are creating through the Educators Fellowship.
How to make it fun.
By working with them closely, by educating them, by engaging with them.
I just knew that I wanted to teach.
Change from the ground up.
For various reasons, I'm a lot more confident as an educator.
That umbrella I got basically.
I said, why not?